Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. This is Liteline headquarters. I'm actually excited to do this presentation today from our HQ. Usually it's from the comfort of one of my rooms at my home. So this is pretty nice to have the support of our team members, as well as some product and some demos in front of us. Pretty early for the folks on the West Coast. So if you're joining from there, we appreciate it, especially those in Alaska or Hawaii going even further. That's awesome if you're on. If not, we'll make sure to get you a copy, but we do appreciate you joining in. I'm joined today by Maria Nenta, our product marketing manager, as well as Afshin Gulzari, who's he's online, but he's not in the room with us here, so he'll help if there's any technical inquiries towards the end or during the presentation. My name is Steve McMullen. I've been in a number of capacities and roles throughout this company over the years. You've probably met me or seen me somewhere, so I'm privileged to be able to do this here today and super excited to talk about this brand new product that we as a company have been excited about for a while. I wouldn't say it's a best kept secret, but it's one that we've been sort of teasing and playing around with for a little while. And I'll give you a quick story before I jump in. I was involved not so much in the product design part of this at all, but I was early on to get a glimpse into what this new innovation and this new kind of idea of lighting was. And years ago, so 4 or 5 years ago, Ms. Sarah Silverstein, one of the co-presidents, she and I were attending a conference, and we finished up the conference. She was kind of quick sketching something out. And it was based off of our lead bar design. And many on the call, I'm sure, are aware of what that is. It's an under cabinet product we've had in a rigid chassis form. It's really been around since the 90s in a fluorescent T4 or T5 form factor, but it was interconnectable. It had 120-volt integrated driver, and it just made it easy, right? It made under cabinet really simple, and in the time of point source type puck lights and things like that, it's a great solution. And of course, transitions and trends changed over the years, going into tape and other shapes and forms of doing undercap and products like that. So the idea was to kind of base off of that construction, but create something that was a little more universal and a little more general illumination design oriented. And that was a little while ago, a few years back. So it's really, really cool. And again, I've got the privilege to be able to present this today. The product is Stripe. It's linear made easy. I'm not going to rag on tape. That's not the intention of the presentation here today. Tape's a fantastic product. We've got channels and different outputs and different types of diodes, COBs, SMDs that are inside of those tapes and those channels. But what really this is the approach to the elemental kind of design criteria of it. How do we make it easy? How does it install easier? How do we take the guesswork out of those types of applications? And on the screen, you can see it. There's a number of different horizontal styles, vertical styles. There's runs that can do long. There's runs that go up walls, across ceilings. There's joints that are made. These are all the kinds of things that are trending. This is what we see in the design world and really online. And that's a driving catalyst of a lot of end users and consumers looking for different options. So we take a look at this and go, in typical Liteline fashion, how do we simplify it? How do we make it easy? And that is Stripe in a nutshell. So we're going to address different ways that we can utilize this new product to be able to create these types of solutions, make it easy, make it simple, and make it price right for the budget. Stripe is a plug and play linear product. Quite simply, that's what it is. Focusing on design and build, ease of install, it's great for contractors, and it hits those price points that we need to have when looking at a product like this. So let's get into it. This beautiful demo case is here. It's ready to go. And alongside products that we have ready to ship, this is something else that we're able to provide. So we've got 4 lengths. Essentially, we've got an 18-inch, like I have here. There's a 2, 3, and a 4 foot. What's really cool about it, if the end caps come on, the back plate is removable, revealing a couple of key things. You've got a 5-position color temperature selecting switch here on the back, 27 through 5K, and power entry on the back and on the sides. Power entry on the 2 longer profiles is in the middle. It's on the end for the smaller ones, just due to real estate and construction constraints. And that is the product as a form factor in a hard format. Finishes, you've got black and white, 120-degree beam, so it's got a wide distribution, and that's good placement, about 500 lumens a foot. You're going to have ample distribution for most applications. covered the 5 CCT, quite simple triac, BLV or phase dimming available to the fixture with the integrated 120-volt driver inside. With removable end caps, that exposes a cross-sectional of a lens that we're able to bridge together to create a seamless look. And when linked together, that feel and that continuous linear form factor is achieved. That continuous feel is intact. So on that, linkable is the key thing here. Up to 150 feet can be achieved for us bringing these pieces together. Now that's considering if it's just being used as a true form linear solution. If we're looking at this as something else, and this is kind of going back to some of the sketch art that Sarah was doing all those years ago, it just takes the form factor of linear and makes it much more universal. And that's really part of the key when we move through the program, is how we power it and how we utilize the accessories to start to get creative and build up these types of solutions. So we've got 4 ways to power it, and there's some cool innovation here with something as simple as even our canopy mount. I'm sure everyone on the call recognizes this type of component. That is your canopy cover with provisions for mounting. Typically, we would associate that with our triac solutions system. But what we've done, this included adapter bracket, is really, really key. It's a nice piece of strong metal. And why that's important is because, not that this isn't, and it doesn't have some structural integrity to itself, but if you've got a box that's offset and we start screwing that into place against that box, you can have positional differences and possibly a differential on your plane, which means that your fixture is not going to mount flush, depending on the ceiling type. This adapter bracket ensures that whatever that box position is, we're pulling up against the bracket, which will push against the ceiling or against the substrate. So it's going to ensure that our mounting is nice and fluff, right? So if the ceiling has issues, that's another thing, but we're doing our best to accommodate for that with that system as a mounting option. Included with each fixture is a set of very simple surface mount clips. And they quite easily, of course, you run your line, screw it into place in the substrate, and then the fixture snaps right on to these brackets. So just like that, snaps in. Really easy. And the fit is seamless and clean below the edge of the channel. Simple power cable. All right, so that's going to be our entry point from the back or the sides if we're using something that's just receptacle style where we're plugging it in. And as is synonymous with our LED bar, we have our hardwire box, nice and clean, finish matched, and you've got entry points on the end and the back for your power. That's it right there, nice and easy. So those are our power options. Now, how we use those power options with the upcoming accessories becomes a really, really key factor. I covered the canopy adapter there, just describing how that metal plate inserts between to help fitment. 7 mounting options. So this is on top of our ways that we power it. Now, these can be configured in different ways. Again, it depends on the application, what we want to do. We can get creative here. And first up are those mounting clips. I want to talk about another one here. I'm going to kind of skip out the line for a minute. Same mounting bracket we looked at before. This one has a magnetic backing. Where can that go? I mean, there's a lot of different places that I can see that being utilized, and a perfect example is showcased on the screen here. Garages or areas where, tool benches and desks and shelving, a lot of times these are made of steel and metal, and that's an awesome way to be able to fix to that without penetrating through it. Sometimes thin substrates where screws can then protrude into above shelves, and at that point you're probably simply running the power cable to plug it in, but there's other ways that we can power it too, as we described. Magnetic clip, really, really cool feature here for a product. 500 lumens a foot. Suspension kit is rather self-explanatory here. Ultimately, we're utilizing a canopy cover like we would with other traditional types of pendant or suspended products. Liteline supplies, some decorative fasteners and mounting components here. It's a grip lock system, so it just pulls through and holds in tight. And of course, we have a cover against that canopy, bringing it down. Picture demonstrates that very well. Adjustable bracket that I have right here. Really cool idea to provide some versatility for a variety of mounting options here as an adjustable mounting clip. So it's articulating, so it's a set screw press fit. Mechanical screw arms on the back. There we go. So if we were setting that tightly to 90 or any angle you prefer, it's easily adjusted. The product can be set into place from there. Great option for coves and other potential applications where you want to have the light direction appropriately done. Moving forward, this is where it gets really exciting. So in some kind of preliminary presentations that I've done of this product, I've talked about this in a unique way. And in my going on 16 years of representing Liteline, this is a pretty cool one. Pretty uncommon for us to have more of a decorative kind of fixture. We don't get into the chandelier space or things like that. But when we start to analyze the options of these products going into, as an example, a residential bathroom, commercial bathroom, something like that, we use direct, indirect lighting, vertical, horizontal types of positioning for it. And we're starting to create this element of decorative lighting, utilizing the same chassis, same fixture that we have here with Stripe. So a really cool idea. So in referring to the mounting, direct and indirect, so forward or back, if you were, it just depends on the orientation of the components that you're using. So this here would be my backlight, my indirect. See if I've got the cover up, but hopefully it comes through on the screen. But the idea here, as depicted in these pictures, I would be indirect at the bottom. So in the middle there, you would see it. So that would be shining back, and providing some reflective qualities within the space. And vertically, horizontally, can be mounted to the need of the design. Now, something really cool about this is that the power connection point is within the component itself. So we're not having to design in or engineer in a junction box into a wall to be able to utilize this component. We're going to keep it nice and clean. We don't need a canopy cover because our connection point is made within the component itself. Really, really cool idea there to keep it nice and clean, aesthetic and architectural. For the other mount options, of course, that same component would just reveal an orientation of those positioned clips to be, so that was facing forward or back. You'd have ones that go from the side. So it would either be vertically or horizontally, shining in, shining down, or of course you could shine it outwards. Just depends on what we're trying to work with and trying to design for. Off the bracket, having its integral wiring compartment. Now let's talk about corners. This is kind of the biggest one that we see because there's such a huge trend going on of the angles and the connection points of linear type products or linear style products. And we've got this solved with Stripe. This is really, really cool. So you've got 3 different connector types. On the horizontal plane, you've got a 2-leg connector, right? And this is fully articulating up to and including 90 degrees. So here we are. Right, so we've got full offset control on any angle or any design we're trying to achieve with this. Also on the horizontal plane, we have our 3-leg connector. And this is where we start to get into these honeycomb designs and other very creative types of architectural solutions that we can build with it. Now, again, it is adjustable, right? So as it would shift, it includes a clean architectural set point cover that's going to ensure that if that design, that honeycomb type effect is intended, the intention is to create that effect. It's going to be able to ensure that the angles are appropriate for it. However, you need to do something else, like create a T or any other type of offset, we can still do it because it is fully adjusted. Really, really neat idea there. On the vertical plane, we have our two light connector inside and outside configurations available. So for wrapping maybe the inside of a wall or going up and coming across a ceiling from the wall, we can utilize this component here. Again, it will offset and be amenable to any angle or direction on that plane. So those are the corners and the connecting components for that side. That is, oh, I missed one thing. Apologies, everyone. Just got to get back here as I realized. Do we not have a slide for it? That's okay. Stop here for a second. Innovative canopy adapter. I mean, it shows it on a horizontal plane. We're going to pretend that this is vertical and it's part of a wall. So I've got a device box in my hand. One of the really cool powering components we have is this, the device box canopy cover. Similar to what we'd assume most ceiling canopy covers would do, this one, because it's a much smaller profile, it has to cover. It's nice, sleek, and low profile, and that utilizes the back power entry. So as I snap that in, got a canopy cover there for your device box to be able to bring power from the vertical plane, i.e. a device box in the wall. Really, really neat idea to begin our power run and our entry point from our other ceiling. Apologies, I had to jump back there, but I saw the kids. Key to cover that. Simple to order. Again, there's 4 sizes. We've got our 18-inch, 2, 3, 4 foot, 5-position color temperature selecting switch available on the back, so it's integrated within the fixture itself. Black and white finishes on product chassis itself, as well as the componentry and the connecting cables and any other accessories that are appropriate for that color finish. As you see on the screen, part 2, select what you need. What is the idea? What are we trying to accomplish? Are we doing a ceiling wall run? Are we suspending? Are we pendant mounting? Are we doing continuous runs? Do we need to connect these pieces together? It's all there. And do one saying continuous run. There's a component here that's likely going to come in question. And there's an accessory listed on the screen there. If we're doing a pendant mount or a supported mount, yes, we're going to have, our drop accessories and our mechanical components holding that in place. However, to ensure a seamless fit and feel from lens to lens, there's a new bracket that goes straight, that joins over the back. It's going to help provide some integrity around that connecting point. It is directional, of course. Power significant more by set screws on the back, so I'm just going to hold this in place, but that's going to allow for longer runs or pendant supported applications to have some rigidity around the connection point. Okay. Back to ordering, we talked about dimming. Phase dim, it dims fantastic with that integrated driver. In the demo kit, we just got a simple forward phase dimmer, and it works just flawlessly, even down to its lowest light level. It's really just beautifully dim and lit, so it's very well. As for different stocking programs, for those on the call, depending on where you're tuning in from, lots of options here to be able to work with, the types of clientele you might have or the applications you might potentially see. Of course, just reach out to your local representing agent, your RSM, whomever for more information on that. But I want to also call out on the right side, which is also behind me, a beautifully done planogram that is available for this too. So it helps showcase the different applications, obviously product details, but it gives us the ideas and the concepts around how the mounting can really start to change and shape the way that this product can be utilized. The excellent sales case also available. I believe mine shipped out to me 2 days ago, so that's awesome. It's on its way. I really want to put some attention on this. I think this is the coolest thing, and probably one of the key pieces within the program is the simple applications lookbook. You probably can't see it on the screen, but it is essentially detailing a lot of the pictures that were utilized in the slide deck to just showcase different applications and encourage creativity as we're looking at linear lighting. Yeah, not going to rag on tape at all, but when we're utilizing something like tape, it can do this. But it requires a lot more precise measurement, a lot more, thinking and trying to figure out ways to find the product. What are we using? What types of channels? Does it have rigid support to be able to do types of pendant fixtures? We don't have to worry about that, right? It's all right here. It in itself is a rigid chassis product. It's going to be able to support its own weight. It's going to deliver light beautifully, and it's easy. So that lookbook, a really, really key thing. Stocked and ready to go. That's that. All right. So I think I got it all, Maria. Covered it all. Do we have questions? Jump at that, stop sharing.
No questions yet.
Questions yet?
Oh. There's a question in the Q&A.
Manufacturing point of origin for this one, kind of a fluid situation, I suppose, but we're working through this one. I'm not going to comment directly on it. There are elements to this that are, in country of origin, not Canada, but there's other parts of it that are here. So yeah, that kind of leans more into pricing specifically. And I think a better answer for it would be just reach out to your contact point. And Alec, just reach out to your contact point. And of course, we'll be able to get you the right information on that.
There's some more in the Q&A.
0 to 10 dimming, not available yet, to my understanding. Something in the works. Of course, this is just the initial launch of this. Everyone, and what happens in typical Liteline fashion, we got a starting point, and then from there the feedback comes in, or the team's probably already working on a V2 of this. In fact, I know they are, but it's pretty cool for us to be able to take that and start to build it into design criteria for future generations on the product. So currently not 0 to 10, but there are things in the works to improve, say, control compatibilities, and of course other things that are happening with the program. A thumbs up, but I don't know if that's making it go away.
It won't make it go away.
If I get a thumbs up, it'll go away.
Yeah. There's more. I don't know if you can see.
In the Q&A, or is that
the Q&A.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. To the top. Apologies for those that might have put in the questions. I'm totally out of order with it. Gina asks, wet rated? It is not. It is damp location rated at this point. There's Emil. Wizzy says, for future, probably. I mean, if you consider the real estate and the profile sizing, I'll leave that up to the engineers and the PD team. But step one, get the product out. And let's start doing some cool stuff with it. Stay tuned. Down the power cord, it's coming black. And is there a design? A design form like the click. Design form like the click. You mean the continuous light bar for the click, or other fixtures? I'm not sure I understand that part of the question. Absolute power cords come in black. Got one right here. This is one of the Swift power cords. So black and white available within the accessories. Is the design for like design. Sorry, Dom, I don't know if I understand that question there. Would you mind just elaborating a little further? I'll come back to it once it jumps on. Alan, possible to cut these to custom length in case longer runs need to be adjusted for shortly. Great question. Great question. No, not modifiable as far as lengths. Currently the 4 profiles today. In the future, can't comment on that, but maybe some other things. But yeah, definitely not modifiable. And you've got a great point on positioning. So that is one thing that we need to take into account, right? The flexibility and the ease of install, the ease of specification with this. In times, we'll have some contingency in reference to our layout, right? So you've got to be mindful of your power position, flexible from the wall or the ceiling, remember, so that's a good thing. So we can potentially play around with that. And if we're early enough in the design, obviously we can position that appropriately. But you do have to be fairly precise. If you're going into a, I don't know, from a ceiling to a wall to ceiling, or into a provision that is set, right? If we're having to work into a corner or something like that, you'd have to be a little more precise on your placement to make that corner. Again, so if we've got flexibility on where that power is, i.e. the ceiling, likely would be a little easier to move that power around than necessarily the wall, obviously for distances and code requirements, but being able to measure that out and ensure that it's close is going to be really key on that. I think that answers your question. Shorter than 18, actually I didn't answer your question, I just went on a tangent, but shorter than 18, no, 18 is the shortest profile we have. Logistics within the real estate available inside the chassis is the reason for that, for now. So see how things progress over time. So I just gave you an answer you didn't ask. The question too. Julie, we come with an end feed detector eventually. End feed movement detector. I don't know if I've got an answer for this one. I might have to ask you to elaborate a little more. We can connect afterwards on that. And I'll bridge in with Ashton and have a conversation on it. Yeah, Tim says, you can see this used in wood grill ceilings or slot ceilings. Is there an adjustment we can use to integrate to that? Is that the whole question? I can't expand that any further.
It is.
Adjustment used to integrate it. Thinking about the mounting. I mean, if it was independently supported from the ceiling, that would be a very easy way for your adjustment to be, flush or in any way desired differently than that. As far as it mounting as a bracket, I'd say inside of that slot or that slat over the side, we don't have anything currently that would do it. It's yes, nothing currently. Lead time on the offering, Dan? Right now. Good to go, my friend. And says, what is the size? If you're referring to the lengths, of course, about 18, 24, 36, 48. And the cross section, that's less than 2 inches. I'd say maybe, Action, I don't know if you have this, that you could just pop that onto the chat exactly the depth and the width of the aperture.
It's 30 millimeter and 42 millimeter.
Today. Okay, yeah. Sean's got a question. 0 to 10. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm totally out of order on this, but all available to order. No, that's right now. We're good to go. And Joanne, do you have longer mounting arms for the adjustable mounting bracket to be connected to? We don't at this point. That's a great suggestion. That could be something that finds an opportunity in upcoming releases of accessories. The cool part though is it is just accessories that we can utilize. I will say something about that. Depending on what we're trying to do, of course, you have other potential products that could be considered, right? If it's a set point standoff, as I was describing, direct or indirect, you do have the other brackets to use. An application on this one, if it was off angle, maybe we're doing some type of art light or something, you could still consider that. that is a longer bracket. Well, take a look. I'm seeing for now. Did Dom get back? Outward's coming black. Is there a design? Oh, design form. He means like a fillable form. That's what he's referring to. I was thinking like form factor. You can utilize the design form that's available for Click. What we can assist with, helping with a BOM, but the idea is that it's so simple based off of the componentry that a simple sketch out, you should be able to just count your pieces. It's really that easy. Of course, there's no considerations of volt drop. There's no engineering electrically that we need to do for it. And for those that are familiar with Click, that's a big part of the precision there in that very architectural, very precise program we have. Click just makes it easier. It may not be to the precision levels of Stripe makes it easier. Click is more on that precision side of things. So, Tom, I think that answers the question. Just utilize that form. Of course, Scotty can help you locally too. So happy to jump in and get things going for you at the gate.
I was asking if it's interior only,
Was that in the chat?
not in
Q&A.
Q&A
Okay, I missed that.
at the top.
Interior only. Damp location, I would say yes. You certainly wouldn't want penetration of moisture, anything getting into open-ended componentry and power points. So certainly not wet location. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Sure. Definitely not wet location.
I think that's all the questions. Oh, what is the max length for dimming? And have you tried a different dimmer?
Good question on the dimming compatibility list. That's an option response there. If you wouldn't mind jumping in on that.
Yeah, we're gonna have
And,
a dimmer compatibility list
Dimming
on
for
the
length,
website.
since it's integrated drivers for. Oh.
Because your volume is down.
Oh.
Turn your volume on your computer.
Sorry, Ashton.
Yes, sorry, I was saying that we're gonna have a dimmer compatibility list for the on the website.
And part two of the question. Length of dimming, max length up to 150 feet now. So you're going to have, since integrated drivers that are CM 120 volt in a parallel circuit, you're going to have fluency on dimming across every one of the integrated drivers. Because they're all getting the same mount, single power.
Steve, I want to jump in on one question about the movement. We're going to have a hardware with motion sensor. So it's going to be connected to the end of the fixture. So it is a motion sensor.
Right, okay, that makes more sense as I'm reading that. Consider that movement detector option, motion sensing component for it. So, right option, stay tuned, I think.
Yeah.
There's more questions.
Maria's prompting me to stay on top of it here instead of just smiling at the camera. Product on the website. Product on the website.
No,
It's live now. I thought I heard that too. It was today. It was Thursday. So now I'm good to go. Should be up there right now. Tracy asked, do any allowances need to be made for expansion and contraction for outdoor damp location installations due to temperature fluctuations, say over 50 feet? That's a great question. I suppose it depends on what you're doing, right? If this is like, I don't know, I'm going to imagine like a continuous run, long run suspended. You're going to have enough flexibility on that. If it's surface mounted, no, you'd be totally fine, because thinking of the componentry that keeps everything together, it's going, expansion, contraction, even in the warmest, the coolest environments, you're going to have enough play within the chassis, the fixture itself. And what I mean by that is, your clips have the ability to move, and I'm holding just a surface metal clip, but this is sort of the basis of a lot of the back side fixture mounting, there's a lot of flexibility here for this to, you know, kind of gently move. And we're not talking massive amounts. So even if you've got joint to joint for a seamless lens, it's going to expand and contract equally. So you will be totally fine as long as your positioning is even, you know, and you don't have it offset from itself. In theory, things should maintain its uniformity throughout. Of course, as long as you've got the right connectors holding it and keeping it rigid. So that would be for a surface mount or pendant. I'm going to pause on that for a second to review my very live explanation. But I think it's fair.
The questions about RGB.
Color temperature, the IS files, plus 5 CCT. Ashton, would you have an answer there for now? Color temperature and the IS files available?
IS file is available on the website now, and color temperature is 5 CCT starting from 27K to 5000K.
Sure, the IS files should work. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Marissa, RGB. I'd say stay tuned. Certainly not out of the realm for Liteline to be able to do this. Of course, we have a full RGB tunable white program on our tape side and with a number of our downlights. So just in time, so you know, stay tuned and we'll keep you updated on that. But likely something available in the future. I don't want to speak out of turn, and Ashton can just tell me to zip it, but he didn't. So keep going. What color temperature? Oh, it is the one online. Ashton, that's the question. What do we have for the IS that is online?
It is 3500K, the one we have online.
Perfect. So right in the middle. So you can do the math on it.
Yeah.
Oh, got some chats going on. Let's do that too.
The beam angle is 120 degree.
Pricing, I've got to defer that to just, you know, local distribution supply, showrooms, RSM. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you'd like to. I can comment on that offline. Country of origin, we reviewed, shouldn't reflect issues in pricing. It's going to be my answer on that. And the beam angle is 120 degrees out. So it's set 120 degree. And that's simply by way of, you know, a fairly heavily diffuse reflector on there, reflector lens, and just its angle of openness, right, being a wider aperture. So the next question would be, what about optics in the future? I don't know. Stay tuned.
There's a question in the Q&A. Do you have rigid poles for pendant mounting or cable only?
Ooh, good one. At this point, the pendant mount kit would just be your cable here. Suggestions, I can't comment on what PD's got working on, but of course we've produced these results in our track program for many, many years and other types of elongated support solutions. So sure, in time we'd have something. Where's that question?
In the Q&A.
Oh, it's just below. I saw it. No, it's perfect. All right. Well, for everyone, again, you know, this is a real privilege. We're super excited about it. Hope you are too. And please reach out to anyone from Liteline, however you need to get in touch with us, again, through either your supply or through your RSM or whomever. Kits, I'd say not necessarily just openly available, but we will have them as RSMs. Happy to make those calls, you know, bring the product to you and get some hands on it and feel. And then this amazing planogram as part of a stock program is a great feature to be able to showcase the value and the opportunity of something like this, making linear simple. All right, well, that's enough time to make you all wait, so we'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time, and let's enjoy the rest of your Thursday and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.